Hi, and welcome to the After Party Hangover Wednesday review show. My my co-host today will be the MVP of the After Party Hangover. He's always handing out spoonfuls of truth. The main event, Andi with an I. How is it going, my man?
I've been served a spoonful of truth by my Friday night.
Oh boy, oh boy. Well, I hope you're prepared for a huge weekend of wrestling because we got a lot to talk about.
Yeah, it's gonna be a tough one to get through, but I have a feeling it's gonna go by fast.
Get some coffee, man. Okay, well, let's kick off with AEW. We start out the show with Nick Jackson versus Phoenix of the Lucha Bros. Now, I'm not too familiar with the singles careers of these guys because I know they're both a part of great tag teams, but has Phoenix or Nick Jackson ever won a singles title in another promotion, to the best of your knowledge?
I'm pretty sure Phoenix had held a Lucha Underground title.
Oh, that's where he came from, Lucha Underground?
He's like all over the place, like down in Mexico, but like he got really famous out there. I'm pretty sure, unless I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure he held the title down there.
Well, they sure did put a lot of faith into him and Nick Jackson for kicking off the show in a pretty damn good matchup. We had lots of athleticism and flying around, and it was basically a super kickoff match because they just super kicked each other 40 times. Phoenix, I noticed that Phoenix and Nick Jackson not only have nullified the super kick, but now they've nullified the RKO. Have you noticed that Phoenix is hitting RKOs out of everywhere?
Yeah, it's a cutter.
Yeah, regular cutter, diamond cutter. I'm more familiar with it as the RKO, but I mean it does look devastating, but I mean he did a somersault and hit the RKO on him on the outside of the ring. You think that would have took him out, but it did not. It was a lot of false finishes. Nick, he has incredible balance to hit that second rope Hurricane Rana on Phoenix. Uh, just very hard hitting. And who is your favorite between these two? Because it is pretty difficult to choose because they're both pretty damn good.
I'm still leaning towards the Jacksons. Eddie Jackson, it doesn't matter. First, they're from Cali. Cucamonga Rancho isn't too far from where I'm from, so all the love goes towards them. And if given a more time, I think you would have seen that Nick Jackson had more moves to pull out of his ass because he can go.
Yeah, and AEW is doing a perfect job of pushing the Lucha Bros. Like they really want them out there to the point where they're making the Young Bucks lose pretty much every match. I know it happened on Wednesday, but do you recall a favorite moment from this matchup?
From this matchup, I could definitely. I'm trying to think of the time where they took turns bouncing off the second rope, like in the corner. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's where Nick reversed some of his moves and hit that second rope Hurricane Rana, which was very impressive.
That stuff was amazing.
And the finish was my favorite part because I am a fan of the boot, the kicks, even though they seem nullified. Phoenix put Nick Jackson on the top rope and did a springboard spin kick to his face. And then right after that, Phoenix hits a spinning muscle buster pin for the win. That move is banned in WWE because of what happened to TJ, Natty's husband. But that was very impressive. That finisher, nobody could kick out of that shit.
Yeah, it was overall a really good match. Good way to start off the show. And it's like, it made me stay because this week I watched AEW first.
Yeah, so did I.
I usually watch like a segment and I change and then watch another segment because I don't get to watch till later at night. But like that one, I just like, well, I'm going to see how AEW plays out the rest of the night.
I feel your pain, brother, because it always comes on when I'm at work and I have to watch 4 hours of wrestling when I get out of work. I'm not really dreading it, but it's a lot of wrestling to take in late at night.
Definitely.
Nick goes in for the handshake after the match as a sign of respect, and then Phoenix walks up to him like he's going to shake his hand, and he just turns, walks away with the fans booing. But, I mean, given these guys' history, I don't know if they're quite there yet. They kill each other every match, kind of reminiscent of the New Day versus the Usos, but obviously the Young Bucks and the Lucha Bros have had way more matches together on that have aired. But, I don't know, maybe one day they'll go in for the handshake and mean it. But they followed up this match with Britt Baker, the dentist, versus Hikaru Shida. Do you remember this match at all?
I'll let you know. I fast forward to that whole match. I'm sick to see Britt Baker on my TV. Like, there's other women in the division. Like, come on. It's like I don't care to see it until like more females come into the fold, and not just to lose to her, or not just to lose to Nyla Rose.
And, you know, this is the match I took the least amount of notes on for good reason. I put Britt Baker, even though she needs to eat a couple cheeseburgers, Britt looked very hot tonight. That's basically it. That's her. And then she got a busted nose during the match because Shida was pretty stiff with a lot of her moves. She did a good job of putting over Shida. Shida wins using a shiny wizard. You know, that's fine. Britt Baker wants to put over people, whatever. But this was a very forgettable matchup. What wasn't forgettable was the surprise vignette we got with the Dark Order with like a cult-like recruiting video, which was, I thought it was done quite well. What did you think?
No, that was really good. That kept me engaged. It's definitely speaking to like not to be a jerk, but it just spoke to a lot of the AEW crowd. The representation.
Hey man, I understand. I was this close to putting on a lucha mask and taking off my shirt and letting my man boobs fly.
Yeah. But it was really good. It was well done. The production value was like super high, and it definitely looked like something out of a commercial or from a movie like Total Recall or something. That's what it reminded me of.
Yeah, when they do their vignette videos, they're pretty damn good with the production. I like how they that makes them that makes them seem more legit when they put a lot of effort into those videos.
And they don't look cheesy at all. It looked really well done, like well written. Like compared to like some of the WWE vignettes, like seem super cheese.
Yeah.
This did not. There's hold the cheese, all beef. It was really good.
I like that. The next segment actually had a lot of stuff going down. I rewatched it this morning and wrote down a lot more notes for the Dynamite Dozen Battle Royal. And what's the prize? A diamond ring.
Chance for the diamond ring.
That's true. A chance to win a diamond ring, which do guys even wear bling anymore? Is that a thing? Do dudes still flash their rings besides Tom Brady?
And unfortunately, in my profession right now, there is a ring you can get, and then like when you wear it, it's like a flex. It's like a flex thing.
Yeah.
So I guess it like. Maybe us peasants don't understand it, but like I could see it. It's a nice spin on a title, and it sounds like a different, like a new idea that's pretty cool, and it sounds like something perfect for a heel.
Exactly.
So,
I was just gonna say that. My first thought was, MJF's winning, because you're not gonna see Marco Stunt sporting a diamond ring around, or well, maybe Sonny Kiss would do it, but I don't know about like Billy Gunn or whatever. But yeah, it was made perfect for a heel. There were a lot of moments in this match, including an appearance from Mr. Ass, Billy Gunn.
Oh, yeah. It's so crazy.
No,
so crazy how big he is compared to everybody else.
Didn't he look like Big Show compared to everybody?
Yeah, it was crazy. He like in WWE, he didn't look that big, but again, everyone was big when he was like in his prime, and now it's just like you definitely seen like the change of type of wrestler there is, and he made everyone look big, but everyone got their good spots.
Billy Gunn, didn't he get fired for like he it was rumored he was taking steroids or something from the NXT training center? Did you hear about that?
No, I didn't hear anything about that.
And looking at him now, that's understandable because that dude's fucking jacked. And I mean, talk about a whale in a teardrop, stealing that from The Rock. But that dude towered over everybody. And his moments in this battle royal stood out the most, such as Sonny Kiss twerking in front of him made me question my sexuality there. That's a whole lot of spoon. That if you want to eat that ass with a spoon, you're going to be there for most of the day. But then Billy Gunn turns around and he was going to show off his twerking skills when, here we go, MJF, establishing his heel character, throws Sonny Kiss over the top rope. What did you think about Sonny Kiss's twerking skills?
It was pretty. They're on point. It did make me kind of like, I'll watch, whatever. I'm curious.
You're like, I didn't reach for my remote.
So I had my finger on the button, and then I changed. It was quality. His quality is what kept my finger from fast forwarding. I actually rewound it twice. Actually, I got this nice little button where it does like a 15-second playback, and I did it twice just to make sure I did it for the right reasons. And I don't know, it was okay, and I was kind of disappointed to get to see Billy Gunn skills. I mean, he had that.
I know. Yep, I was anticipating it too. He is Mr. Ass. I was hoping to see we get to see a white boy twerking.
And then he had that Billy and Chuck phase. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
And that kind of peaked in a little bit too.
We had Orange Cassidy. Orange Cassidy stood up right in front of Billy Gunn, and I'm going to steal this from Jake. And Orange Cassidy, he hit his devastating kicks to Billy Gunn, popping the crowd. And right when he was about to wind up for the ultimate sweet shin music, MJF again throws his ass over the rope, making him the most hated person in this match because, as we all know, Orange Cassidy was sitting on he was basically leaning on the bottom rope most of the match, and all eyes were on him most of the match until he got tossed over. Are you an Orange Cassidy fan?
Oh, yeah. I've always been. He's had some of the funniest matches I've ever seen, especially when I can't remember who it was against, but he put him to sleep, and he almost beat him, but the ref sneezed, and Orange Cassidy woke up. Orange Cassidy may have been leaning on the ropes, but he's holding the match on his back until he got eliminated.
Of course. We also got Jimmy Havoc losing his goddamn mind, pulling out a staple gun and stapling hands, legs, heads, and balls to the point where refs surrounded his ass and said, "Get your crazy ass out of here."
Yeah, Jimmy Havoc doesn't move the needle for me. I mean, there's guys like Marco Stunt and Jimmy Havoc. They're just like, and even Peter Avalon. They're just like, how are you even a professional wrestler? But I mean, that was pretty cool though. It was pretty awesome seeing him staple. I think he even stapled Mr. Ass's right in his dick.
Yeah,
he stapled someone right. I remember seeing that. I was like, oh, now I'm a fan.
Jimmy Havoc kind of seems like a Kmart Darby Allin.
I thought Jimmy Havoc, I thought he was like a lead singer in an emo band the first time I saw him wrestle.
He just got out of his shift at Hot Topic and he decided to wrestle.
He's like in a AFI cover band.
He's late. He's very late to Halloween.
Yeah.
We also got, during the commercial break, I don't think they showed this, but Sean Spears, the chairman, eliminated Joey Janela by hitting him with a chair when Joey Janela was on the top rope, thus eliminating Joey's chances for getting that diamond ring. I guess they're going to keep that angle up, even though Sean Spears desperately needs to ingest some charisma, or he needs what the hell does that guy need to do to get over, because he is just not working.
I don't know. He needs to take a freaking charisma milkshake every morning, and then maybe snort some charisma pills, and then maybe take a ride with that wrestling guy once he finally comes out of hiding.
Hashtag save that wrestling guy.
Yes, and maybe he'll figure out what the hell he needs. I mean, how could your wife have so much more charisma than you?
Exactly, and she probably gets a bigger paycheck as well.
But I think once he finally finds his groove, I think he just needs to stop taking himself so serious. I don't know, but what the hell do I know?
I forgot to mention, Christopher Daniels disguised himself as Phoenix at the very beginning of the match and distracted Pentagon. And as the bell rang, Christopher Daniels, with his distraction to Pentagon got eliminated first. So I guess that's a good way to eliminate him and save his character. But we actually ended up with Hangman Page and MJF are the final two, and will face off next Wednesday in Dynamite in Chicago for that diamond ring. Are you excited to see these two go against each other? And MJF has his heavy with him, Wardlow.
Yeah, I'm pretty, like, Adam Page wrestles. It's always been good. I just remember him in ROH and even in New Japan. He was always like a hard-hitting son of a bitch. And I think he handed Adam Cole his last loss in Ring of Honor. But, like, I can't wait. I'm actually tempted to try to watch that live. But we'll see how that goes. And then MJF, I never, like, only outside on Dynamite I've ever seen him wrestle. So I don't know too much about him. All I know is he's a dick and he's like an uncensored Miz, which is good.
I hope they let him go off on the mic soon.
It should be good. I mean, it should be a great match with the MJF win at the end.
Well, we follow this up with probably the best segment of the night. Dad Bod Jericho running his mouth. His promos are must-see lately, and this one was no different. Jericho goes out to the ring and claims he has a major announcement, and he says that he's going to have a thank you celebration next week on Dynamite or something. But first, he wanted to apologize for his behavior, and every time he wanted to apologize, he held that mic up to Jake Hagar's mouth, and with his lispiness said, "Sorry." I thought that was pretty damn funny and entertaining, that Jericho didn't want to say sorry like the Fonz from Happy Days.
Yeah, that was pretty funny. Like, I thought ever since Jericho went to New Japan and like started reinventing himself and just became the opposite of whoever he was wrestling at the time. Like when he fought Kenny Omega, he was the alpha, but like I started like disliking him. But ever since the Dynamite debuted, he's been nothing short of amazing. Like anything he does is gold, and that whole and then he kicked it to Hager and he goes sorry.
That was great.
That had died. I rewatched that segment 3 times.
And then SCU interrupts Jericho with their horrible theme music. They really need to change that theme music. SCU comes out to the ring and apologizes basically for embarrassing Jericho. Well, Scorpio Sky apologizes because Jericho is one of his favorite wrestlers, and he didn't want to embarrass him by being the first one to defeat him, which gets Jericho's blood boiling. And pretty much they have one of the funniest lines in the whole promo, because you know how good Jericho is on the fly. Scorpio Sky says after beating Jericho, his DMs blew up, and he actually got a DM from his high school girlfriend, Melanie Parsons. And Jericho interrupts and says, "Hey, I've seen Melanie Parsons since high school, and she's put on some weight."
Yeah. That was awesome.
Goddamn Jericho. Is there anything that man cannot do? He is just so perfect for being a heel champion.
And he got a Baby Yoda reference in there. I don't know if anyone caught that. Was hilarious.
Yes. Cuter than Baby Yoda. Well, this sets up a match between Jericho and Scorpio Sky for the AEW Championship next week in Chicago. Scorpio Sky did a little Bugs Bunny argument with him. Reverse psychology. It was pretty funny that he goaded Jericho into making it a title match. Should be a good
goated
match.
The goat.
What was that?
He goated the goat.
Yeah, he did. That's going to be a good one. We get to see more of Scorpio Sky's abilities in the ring. It should be a great match. Then the Inner Circle comes out and beats the shit out of SCU. And everyone's looking out to the locker room. Who's going to help? Who's going to help? Here comes little baby Marco. Here comes...
Yeah.
Looking like a fucking Chucky doll with no shirt on. And here comes Jungle Boy. Again, gets stomped to death. But then Luchasaurus comes out. And everyone, including the crowd, saying, oh shit, as he stares down Jake Hagar in the middle of that ring. For some reason, Jake Hagar takes off his Walmart watch and throws it into the crowd like he's going to fight him. And it never happens. Yeah. Okay, what's going on? Oh, then we get Luchasaurus taking on the Librarian. Librarian, of course, gets murdered in the ring by Luchasaurus. Lucha wins with a reverse powerbomb. That was pretty badass. Then we follow this up with Santana and Ortiz, Proud and Powerful, versus Private Party, and a tribute match to their fallen friend. This was pretty fucking cool. I like this match a lot because it showed off. It was a showcase match that shows us what these guys can do together, and they're all friends, and they did an amazing delayed suplex. Did you like that, how they kept switching it off, and they held that dude up for a very long time?
Oh my goodness, Private Party, and they should just wrestle. They should be like the Usos in New Day. Like, they just wrestle all the time. And if there was like an Ultimate Tag Team Championship, like of all brands, AEW, WWE, New Japan, those guys should be in the match.
Private Party should have won those damn titles in that tournament.
Well, I guess it's good that they didn't, because when they do, it's going to be amazing. But those guys, sign me up anytime they're wrestling. I would love to see them in like singles competition too.
Also, during this match, a regular occurrence in AEW, did the ref botch a 3 count? Like towards the end, it looked like the ref had botched it. I mean, Private Party still won, but I believe the ref botched the 3 count.
Yeah, that's a little weird. I don't know if there's like a communication issue in the back, but I got to give them the benefit of the doubt, I guess. But I don't know. They're on TV, so how much room do you have to make a mistake like that?
You know, I'm thinking it's happened a little more often on live TV, even on WWE TV as well. How many times has it happened during indie shows? And I bet you the crowd's like fucking boo the shit out of them, even worse when it's in an indie show.
Oh, I bet. I know what happened to Shane Strickland at an indie show up in Washington, and like that ref was reffing at the Ring of Honor event I went to, and like everyone in the crowd was still giving him shit for how he screwed Shane Strickland.
Jeez. Well,
so I can happen all the time in the indies.
After the match, the Inner Circle jumps them again, and this time Nick Jackson and Goldust come in for the save. Goldust with the face paint, but that was it. He can still go, man. Goldust for the save. I guess that they're working him into the angle. There's probably going to be an 8-man tag coming up sooner than later. But then we get a Kenny Omega video promo, basically saying, I'm going to be different. I'm going to be the real Kenny Omega. He still had a little shiner from their match with John Moxley. Yeah. Do you think Kenny Omega is going to come back different, or do you think he's just talking shit?
He might. I mean, he was making, like, it seemed like a joke with the whole, like, the lifting and only putting more weight on one side at the end. So I don't know if he's actually going to be back to the cleaner like he was in New Japan, just mopping the floor with everybody. So it might just take a few more losses. Maybe we'll get the Kenny Omega that we deserve.
What match do you want to see Kenny Omega in? Like if AEW has a WrestleMania like event next year, what dream match do you want to see between Kenny Omega and whoever else on the AEW roster?
Geez, that'd be. It's hard to like match a style with him. It would be nice to see Kenny Omega and Hangman Page throw down for like if they had like a tournament for a championship, and they were the final two, and even though they're friends, they just got to go at it and just see. Or if they ever bring Kota Ibushi over in AEW, that would be awesome to see Kenny versus Kota Ibushi.
That's a good point. Having Kenny Omega and Hangman Page fight each other, because those two desperately need to get their characters back in order. Like, Hangman Page has suffered some losses that kind of brought some doubt to what he can do, I think, on TV. And Kenny Omega taking losses as well. If they both faced each other and had a badass match, I believe it'd do pretty much, it'd do great for both of their personas on TV to the fans.
Definitely. I just don't think they have the time like to on TV to put on like a Kenny Omega show, because even when I watched I watched New Japan, it's like old episodes that they cut for TV, and like his matches like have 3 or 4 commercials in it, and they go like 30, sometimes 40 minutes.
But the crowds eat it up, right? The crowds love it.
Oh yeah, the crowd's all into it, and it's funny too because over there they don't stand up; they just sit down. Like the Japanese fans, they just sit there and cheer. So it's even weirder. You don't think anyone's involved, like into the match, but they're really quick matches. Like you won't even notice that an hour's gone by.
I love how polite the Japanese audience is. By the way, it's very, very different cultures compared to us, like us American assholes, and them being all polite and sticking around to clean up after the event's over. It's very different, very strange. Then we come to the main event. Darby Allin versus Jon Moxley. And Darby brought back a staple from the old days that Undertaker made famous. The dude enters in a body bag. And not only was he in the body bag, but he stuffed his skateboard in the body bag with him. I guess because he's a skeleton, basically. But I thought that was pretty badass how he unzipped it himself and then skated down to the ring. What did you think about that?
Oh, it was really cool. I even liked the build up to it when they showed him riding his skateboard in the streets and then going on stage and getting in the body bag and doing a body surf in the crowd at a concert.
This match,
the build up for this was really cool.
This match was very hard hitting, very entertaining. I love how Mox no-sold a flying crossbody from Darby because he's so damn skinny. And Moxley looks like the Incredible Hulk next to him.
That opening was amazing. Coming out of like I'll say it again, Mox has the best song in all of wrestling right now, in my opinion. In all of wrestling, he has the best song. I have that shit on repeat when I go on long road trips. And coming out to that, and then getting a whole Darby Allin thrown at you from the ring to start the match was nothing short of amazing.
That song, does it just say Jon Moxley's theme? Did you buy it on iTunes?
I just typed it into Apple Music, and then I just put Jon Moxley. No, I put AEW, and then someone made an AEW playlist, and then I found like Kenny Omega's The Young Bucks, and then I can't remember the name of it. I can search right now.
Super Kick Party.
I like their old music. I don't like their song.
Oh, you don't like
their
it?
Old ones. And I love Kenny Omega's New Japan music. That was really good. Let me see if I can find it. I'll find it for you. I won't let you down. Okay, it's called Violent Idols, Unscripted Violence.
Nice. Okay, I got that down. I'm gonna buy it.
Yeah, it's a good song.
Well, it just I wrote down in my notes, it looks like Bretsky versus Zanka, Darby Allin versus Jon Moxley. Just by their physiques, I thought it was funny. But Moxley does hit a Dirty Deeds from the second rope for the win. Great match to end the show. I did enjoy it. My favorite, as I said earlier, was the Jericho promo in the ring, because They did even leading up to the promo. They showed him backstage hassling the librarian and fucking Marco Stunt.
I didn't hear any of that because there's a stupid commercial going on. So
before I started this interview with you right now, I went on YouTube and I looked it up, and he was basically throwing the librarian's books around because they were about dinosaurs. And then he went up to some random black guy and he was like, "What's up, man? What's up? What are you doing here?" And he like, the black dude was wearing a hat, and he tried to pull the hat down to like, you know, make it go over his face, but it didn't budge. So he just moved on, and Jake Hagar just mad dogged him. And then they went up to Marco Stunt, who was with two in-ring photographers, and they're like, "Hey, what are you doing here with your shirtless son? Why'd you bring your shirtless son here, man? That's not cool. You're gonna get sick, boy. Go put a shirt on, man. Hey, let me see your ID. How old are you?" And Marco goes, "I was born in '96." And Jericho goes, "Well, that makes you go put a shirt on." He couldn't do the math. It was great, man. Jericho, he's carrying that show big time. Love it. But now we get to NXT. NXT kicks off with Becky Lynch and Regal basically saying, "Welcome back." Becky Lynch comes out with, she didn't have security with her. Security was guarding her door. But she storms out and the crowd pops for Becky, which slowly turns into boos because I guess the NXT audience maybe sees Becky as a traitor for leaving, but it wasn't up to her. But she cuts a great promo. Rhea Ripley cuts her off, though. And, of course, the crowd goes, "Holy shit." Rhea Ripley staring down Becky Lynch. That's a dream match in its own. I mean, I know Rhea's pretty young, but them two staring each other down, they then set up a match. They start wrestling. These two have great chemistry. Just by their looks, they could probably even be like they look like sisters almost.
They kind of got that same face. Yeah, they make that same scowl.
The same vibe going on. The Man and Rhea Ripley, who I call Pete Dunne face, but I don't know, she's kind of growing on me. I think every time I see her, she looks cuter and cuter. And plus, I heard her on Corey Graves' podcast. She actually sounded like a fangirl, sounded kind of cute.
Yeah, if you really want to be let down by her persona, just follow her Instagram. She's such a dork.
Oh, shit. Well, of course, Shayna Baszler and her ugly friends have to ruin the match, but, I mean, hopefully in the future we get an actual Becky Lynch versus Rhea Ripley match, but luckily they're both young, so we will get to see that match someday. Did you like this match, and what do you think of the outcome?
I think the best, like, my highlight of it was the reversal from the disarm her. That was really badass. I've never really seen it done that way, and that made the match really cool. That put it over the edge for me. I was like, yeah, it's a good match.
So does that mean that Rhea Ripley is gone from NXT UK? Did they lose her?
I think they're all just like on loan and like kind of like it's all NXT banner type stuff because I'm pretty sure she'll be in the next takeover that they do over there.
Well, hopefully.
I don't see why not.
They really need that talent because I don't know if you noticed on SmackDown, they had Toni Storm out there. I was like, they're taking everybody from fucking NXT UK. Yeah,
I know like some of the normal NXT rosters over there. I don't really watch NXT UK as much anymore because there's so much to watch.
Exactly.
But I know you got Cassius Ohno is over there, and then a couple other people. I think they're just showcasing some of their UK talent, maybe to draw eyes over there. Hopefully.
Well, we follow this up with the Revival showing up, and they're about to get ready to have one of the greatest tag matches that we'll get to later. Come back from break, and Kona Reeves, who looks horrible, and I hope he goes away, gets attacked by Ricochet right before the match he's supposed to have with Matt Riddle. And us spoiled fans get another dream match, Matt Riddle versus Ricochet, which, by the way, let me point out my chunky boo, Jessica, is reffing this match. She had a front row. She had a front row seat to this dream match. It's just fucking incredible, dude. Reversals at the reversals. I mean, could you imagine this on a WrestleMania card? They would pull out all the stops.
Jesus, it would. That means like WrestleMania would be so long if they actually wrestled on WrestleMania. Because that match, I see nothing short of 25 minutes on that match. At least 25 minutes.
Yeah, if Riddle gets called up or Ricochet goes back to NXT, I want to see that match in full because, of course, it's Survivor Series, so we get the SmackDown crew to come out. Riddle does win the match, but SmackDown does beat the crap out of everybody, and just another countless fucking invasion that we've been getting for the past, 2 to 3 weeks. Just hyping Survivor Series, but, Ricochet flies on Cesaro. Roddy Strong, he takes out Nakamura. Riddle takes out Roddy. And then Finn Balor jumps Riddle, hyping their match for later today. Finn Balor versus Matt Riddle. That should be a good one. Who do you think will win that match?
Oh, Finn Balor definitely has. I see it as a have to win for him, and I definitely think he's going to win. I mean, they have all this time for Matt Riddle to be built up, so I definitely think. And Finn Balor's definitely got something to prove, so I definitely think he's going to pull off the victory. Maybe not with the coup de grace, maybe with something else, but I think he's going to win.
Well, I have a question for you. Do you think we have heel Finn Balor. Are we going to get a heel Finn Balor demon? Has that happened before in New Japan? Like, has he been a heel and a demon?
Well, I know he's always worn the paint. Like, when Finn Balor was in New Japan, I didn't even know New Japan existed, so I can't say I've known. But I just saw a picture of him and Tama Tonga both wearing Tama Tonga's wearing face paint and Finn Balor's wearing like full like body paint. So, I mean, I can imagine, when they're in Bullet Club together, he did wear paint.
It should be cool if we do get the demon, because the demon, it kind of, on one hand, it's Finn Balor super pissed off, and then on the other hand, it's like to please the fans. I'm not sure if heel Finn Balor will bust out the demon in NXT, but maybe if he does, he'll be extremely vicious. Like, maybe he just kicks the guy in the nuts for 30 minutes or something. I am looking forward to see heel demon Finn Balor.
I just, for NXT, like, any pay-per-view, he came out as the demon. It wasn't even like a build-up or anything like that. It was like, it's a takeover. He's coming out as the demon. Yeah,
it was just expected, huh? He would always have like a new twist on it too, like Jack the Ripper or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Well, then we come to the match of the week for me. I know we haven't seen TakeOver or Survivor Series. I'm talking about Monday through Friday. The match of the week, the work week. The Revival takes on Bobby Fish, Kyle O'Reilly, the Undisputed Era. My God, was this match unbelievable. Two of the best tag teams in the world. I mean, I know Undisputed Era did win, but the Revival was showing all of us what the Revival can do when they get the time and they get a tag team they can work great with.
Yeah, going back to when they arrived to NXT, when they pulled up in the Dodge Ram, I still thought it was pretty badass. Like them pulling up in a Dodge and then they get out of the car, get out of the truck and just walking in. I thought that was really cool. And then to see them in their natural habitat was really good. You can get away with false finishes in a tag team match, but there's a couple times they really had me fooled, and I thought the Revival was going to pull it off. And I was actually much of an Undisputed Era fan. I was hoping, because for some reason I have this main roster bias. I really was hoping that the Revival would win.
I think Revival needed the win, to be honest. I mean, I know Undisputed Era is super badass, but the lack of respect that the Revival are getting on the main roster, I really wish they would have won this one. That way they could show Vince, like, hey, asshole, this is what we can do. Give us opportunities.
I could see all this happening just for NXT to get swept at
oh my God.
At Survivor.
Could you imagine?
I could definitely see all that happening, with the exception of maybe Shayna Baszler. Even though I picked Becky to win for Zanka, I could just picture all of them losing, and then for just Shayna to win, just like a flex from Vince. Like, yeah, yeah, your guys may be cool and cute and cuddly, but like, I don't give a fuck. I make all the decisions.
Let me
main roster.
He's like, let me shit on your parade. Well, then
see that fan, all this Hope fans. You think it's? I'm gonna listen to you, and I'm just gonna kick you in the nuts.
I didn't even mention it on AEW recap, but did you see that sign in the audience that said "Suck it, Vince"?
Oh yeah, that was pretty fun. Like, oh my god, I think it was like in the front row, and like he's getting it in at the right time. He was looking at the screen the whole time, and he would just throw it up there. Suck it, Vince.
I bet you, in order to get that sign in the audience, he's probably like, "Yeah, this is my friend right here, Vince. Yeah, this is what I'm talking about." Because I remember them saying they don't let anti-WWE signs in the AEW arenas, but that was fucking funny, dude.
He could have just brought in a blank one and then had a marker in on him.
Yeah, I've seen people do that.
I had my marker on me.
Then we get the Viking Raiders fighting with the Forgotten Sons on the outside. Then we get a Women's War Games video promo. I am very excited about this match. I know it might steal the show. It might even be better than the guys' War Games match. But I guess we'll see. There's only 5 matches on the card, if I remember correctly. So I believe every match will get enough time and will be great.
I don't know. With matches like this, I kind of like get worried because the feeling of them trying to do too much to prove that they're just as good or even better. I just hope they don't lead to botches and stuff like that.
Well, not only that, they got to wrestle the next night. Like, they're going through all this hell. They're going to try and impress us and, show off, like you said. And then they got to go do it again on Sunday. Actually, they were there Friday as well. So Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I hope the NXT crew is getting vacation time and, and a bonus for this shit. Because they are overworked like crazy. Maybe because they're young. I don't know. But it's going to be impressive. Yeah. Then we get Kaylee Ray, straight out of the trailer park, drinking Mountain Dew, versus Dakota Kai. Bailey 2.0, in other words.
Bailey.
Yeah. It was an okay match. I mean, I'm just... Kaylee Ray, I don't know. I don't like her. I don't know if it's just because of how ugly she is, but... she doesn't impress me much. I like Dakota Kai, even though she looks like Bailey 2.0.
I just don't give a shit about Dakota Kai. It's like, everything's so nice. I don't care. Like, whatever. It's like, you've been done before, and you were AJ, when AJ just started out, AJ Lee, when she just started out, I was like, AJ Lee, and then I was like, I'm sick of that shit. Just... her, I have a feeling she's just going to betray everyone in the women's takeover match, or maybe a Survivor Series, and hopefully it brings some edge to her. But like, she just seems too nice.
Yeah, exactly. I think you're right. I think she is going to turn on him, which would add some more character to her and make her more interesting. Kaylee Ray eventually wins, and then here we go again with the invasion. SmackDown and Raw women invade. They're all beating the shit out of each other, leading up to Survivor Series. And then they do a backstage scene with Dominic, Go Grab a Stick, and Tommaso Ciampa and Keith Lee just warming up, getting ready for Dominic's ladder match. And we come back from break with the Viking Raiders taking on the Forgotten Sons, which I don't want to be a dick, but I didn't really care about this match. Because I don't have anything invested in the Forgotten Sons, but I could care less. I was looking on my phone during this match and not really paying attention. What did you think about this quick tag match?
Yeah, they did it. They pulled it off. They tried to figure out how to piss me off even more. They did a triple cartwheel, and that thing. Why the hell did they do that shit? Like, moving to the side is just as effective as doing a cartwheel.
Exactly.
It's just that, but whatever. They're big guys, I guess. They need to do cartwheel. It's like, Leave the big man stuff to Chris Farley. May he rest in peace.
Exactly. Leave the cartwheeling to middle schoolers and get your act together, guys. But the Viking Raiders did win.
His back spring elbow looked very good that night. It looked really good.
Yeah, because the Forgotten Sons actually got close enough this time. Because I don't know if you noticed, but most of the time when he does that, the people are way far back and they have to like pretend they got hit really hard with it when they didn't.
Yeah, and it's just like Becky Lynch's like drop kick. It's like it's got no air. Like she could jump off a skyscraper and still only land like a foot in front of her. And it's like the person that's taking the elbow needs to get closer to him, and they did a really good job on that.
Exactly. Then we get the match that I was waiting the whole night for. Dominic, I'm not going to try his last name anymore, versus Adam Cole. Dominic impressed the shit out of me during this match because I know his wars with Keith Lee were very impressive, but fighting someone the caliber of Adam Cole, it just elevated him big time. Dominic chokeslam Adam onto the ladder. I don't know if he caught this, but it looked like Adam Cole's soul was crushed after that chokeslam. He hit that ladder hard.
Yeah, poor Adam Cole. That guy's going through a lot. Like the last 2 weeks, 3 weeks maybe. It's been 3 weeks since he wrestled Daniel Bryan, right?
Yeah, I bet you he has a Brinks truck full of money to show for that one. He's showing his dentist wife.
Yeah, he's been through a lot, and then he's got to go through freaking War Games and then defend his title. I mean, holy crap!
Adam Cole,
but whatever, the occasion, just like he did in the ladder match.
He hit the Canadian Destroyer, which is also getting nullified, onto Dominic.
When he came off the ladder?
From the ladder. That was cool because I don't know if you noticed, but Dominic kind of did something with his legs after he got the Canadian Destroyer that made it extra believable and amazing. Like, goddamn, how tall is that dude for Adam Cole, that little midget, to do that to him? But it was still believable.
There had no space to pull that off either because the way the ladder was positioned with the other ladder in the corner, and then they were pretty much in that, he was pretty much already in the corner when he took the move, and it was very impressive.
Dominic selling the knee injury, I loved that because that told a great story of why he eventually lost. That's one thing, and Zanka said that the biggest problem in AEW is they don't sell. Dominic sold and made this match believable.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. It's like he hits his finisher. It's like this is something they used to do all the time, like in the Ruthless Aggression and Attitude Era. They'd hit their finisher, and then they didn't have enough time to cover the person, and they would kick out and lose. I remember that happened a lot, and it's just stuff like that really, really makes it cool and understandable why a big guy can lose to a little guy, because Adam Cole is tiny, and in a real fight, Dominic Dijakovic should never lose.
Exactly, but Adam Cole is so smart in the ring, as a ring technician, a ring general. He had the wherewithal to attack the knee of Dominic, knowing that Dominic had to climb the ladder, which they eventually both made it to the top, and Adam Cole nails Dominic in the head with the briefcase. Dominic then falls back onto a ladder that was set up and goes through the ladder, and you see that towering inferno fall onto the ladder. When he hit, you're like, that's it, it's over. Adam Cole wins the advantage for the heels at War Games, which is happening in 2 hours. I can't believe it. This was a great match. I did like the tag team match earlier better, but this was a great way to end the night. And then we get, of course, another invasion, which had some crazy spots in it. We had people hitting their finishers left and right. But what stood out the most from this invasion, did you see Drew McIntyre hit the Claymore on Dominic, and the way Dominic took it,
yes,
that was fucking perfect, dude.
It was so awesome. But I would like to be nitpicky for a second.
Yeah.
And when you see Ivor and frickin' Keith Lee do their little standing pose, and then they go run. It would have been so much cooler if Ivor, just when they went to go do their run to jump out, he just knocked him out.
I'm shocked they didn't do cartwheels before they jumped over the top rope.
Yeah. Jesus.
That would have pissed you off even more.
As much as I don't like Keith Lee standing and posing, that spirit bomb was pretty badass. And who did he hit with the spirit bomb at NXT? It wasn't Seth, was it? It was someone. I can't remember who he hit with the spirit bomb, but that was pretty badass.
I was just
He hit Drew McIntyre.
I was just overwhelmed by the amount of fighting that was going on in the ring. I was trying to count everybody because our fantasy draft. Like, I was writing down names left and right. I was like, oh, there's Tommaso Ciampa. There's so I might have missed that.
There was I know there was a spirit bomb last night before Braun Strowman got in the ring, but I'm pretty sure he hit someone with the spirit bomb on NXT. There's just so much wrestling and so many invasions.
Did you think this was a good go-home episode for NXT for War Games?
Oh, for War Games, yeah, definitely. And I'm kind of disappointed that we're not getting Leo Rush versus Garza, but I'm pretty stoked we're going to get Garza versus Strickland.
Yeah, they just added that.
I really wish they would have put more of an emphasis on the triple threat for the number one contender.
Yeah, Pete Dunne.
Because that's going to be a really good match. And I wish they would have had a little bit more spotlight on the takeover, and maybe a little bit more insight on who the fourth male is going to be and the fourth female.
Who do you think is going to be the fourth male?
I just saw something before we started this that it might be Velveteen or John Morrison.
Oh shit, John Morrison.
Yeah.
Damn.
But it could be anyone. It could be Leo because he's not wrestling. It could be Strickland, but he's on the pre-show. Never mind. Like it could be Gargano. I mean, he hasn't been brought up at all.
You just got me super excited for Morrison to come out now.
I don't know why. I was scrolling down my Instagram feed and I saw like two possibilities, and it was Velveteen and Morrison. I was like, holy crap, that's badass.
Velveteen would be good too.
The DIY pop would be through the roof if it was Gargano.
What was he injured? Like I know Finn Balor did that DDT to the outside, but how did he get it concussed?
I forgot. I don't know if it was shoulder or head injury, but he definitely took a hard DDT to the head.
Because I know that Velveteen got back surgery, right? So I'd figure he'd be out longer.
Yeah, so that I don't know how credible the source was. I mean, they put out theories all the time. I forgot which page it was.
It's crazy that all of this is going to be answered in a couple hours.
Yeah. But I'm like checking my phone right now because it might have been answered already. Sometimes they like to do breaking news like right before, right before the pre-show. But no, I haven't seen anything yet.
Well, I'm not sure if the boys are going to go over SmackDown. I don't know if you want to briefly go over it. The great match with Sasha, Charlotte, and Rhea Ripley. That was a pretty damn good match.
Yeah, that's the money match. When you said the Rhea Ripley versus Becky, I think that's the money match. Rhea versus Charlotte. They're two gargantuan women that like tower like most of the men roster.
Well, you know what made me pop wood during that match is how it ended. I've never seen that done before.
Yes, that was a nice roll up. I was pretty pissed, but it's like it got me a little upset, but I was like, it's all right. Let her have that victory, and then it helps her, and then maybe they'll lead to a match later down the line. Well,
Charlotte, with her busted mouth, was getting Sasha in the figure eight, and then Rhea Ripley just sneaks in there and does the crucifix like pin. That my God, that was I loved it. It was original. I'd never seen that before.
She also pulled it off better than Becky did in WrestleMania.
Yeah, the shoulders actually hitting the mat. This was a heavy Corbin episode too. I'm pretty sure everyone was excited about that, especially for the main event.
Yeah, it was Corbin. Corbin, I don't know. I like everything he does, so everything he does is awesome to me. But I really wish he would have had the mascot with him this time. And I think it would, like in his corner during their match, that would have been so awesome.
The mask?
The mascot, the bulldog mascot.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Well,
the big dog mascot, I mean.
I guess Vinnie Mac was the only fan of that, but maybe backstage they told him that it was garbage. But yeah, you're right. That would have been funny if they would have brought that back.
That was my only disappointment about Baron Corbin in the night.
We also got a Miz Bryan match where at the end of the match, a pretty cool switcheroo happened. When the lights go out with Miz in the corner, the lights come back on. The fucking Fiend is pretty. I don't know if you caught how detailed it was, but the way the Miz was laying when the lights went out and came back on, Bray did the exact same pose that Miz was doing. I thought that was a great attention to detail. And then fucking Fiend beats the shit out of Bryan. Finger fucks him in the mouth.
Yeah, and they didn't have the screaming. They didn't have the normal noise that makes when the Fiend appears.
When those lights are being shined on him.
Yeah, it didn't have the you know what I'm talking about, the little screening that it does.
Oh yeah. That
no.
It's kind of annoying when that happens, but
oh, I like it. It adds to it. It makes my son run away. So that's what I like about it.
I just think maybe they need to change it up with the Fiend. I don't know, but that title, I'm sorry, I'm never gonna be sold on that title. The blue title, I'm not a fan of.
I think it'd be cool. I'm just have a pipe dream here. Anytime he beats someone, defends it, he fillets their skin and kind of puts it on there. That'd be badass.
Just like Awesome Kong in AEW when she scalps him.
Yeah, exactly. Something like that. And then he can put that, and that's how he makes his belt, Leatherface style.
Well, damn, man, thank you. Thank you so much for this time. I could talk wrestling with you for hours, and we are actually coming up on an hour. I want to thank you for taking the time of the day. And we got NXT War Games in a couple hours, and tomorrow we got a great Survivor Series to look forward to. I will see you in the exclusive Hall of Famer chat on Instagram.
Oh yeah, I might be late to the party. I have to do a Costco run before, so I might be late to the party, but I'll be in there.
Okay, be careful. There are going to be spoilers.
Oh yeah, now I'll have my phone on me, and I'm taking my headset, so I won't be watching it, but I'll be watching it, but I won't be in the chat yet.
Okay. All right, man. Well, you go take care of your Costco business, and as always, all hail Linda's Bush.